Hey, y'all, it's Lace.
It's Catherine. And boy, what have you done? You've done it again, Wilson. You found yourself listening to another episode of Cheaties podcast. What the heck?
Wait, who's
that?
Wilson? Who's Wilson?
Well, you remember that line?
No.
You've done it again, Wilson.
That's not a line. I don't think that's from anything. What is that? I just took my shoes to go get repaired by a nice older man down the road, and his name's Wilson. Is that him?
I still think it's funny that we still call them cobblers.
Dude! This is a whole other thing.
Because it just feels like I feel like I'd be like, I gotta go pick up my sword at the blacksmith's. I feel like it just feels like such a medieval professional name.
It really does. A cobbler.
Yeah, but you still have cobbler. You'll see a sign in a metropolitan area, be like, cobbler this way. And I'm like, is the Renaissance fair in town?
Yeah. It's like, is that near the haberdashery?
Yeah.
But we still, you know what?
It's to the left of the guillotine.
The guillotine shop. You know, where you buy your guillotine.
You buy your blades.
Well, we still say butcher. So, which brings us back.
But that's
to Cheaties.
That's a female rapper.
Speaking of butchers and knives.
You know Lil Butcher.
Lil Butcher.
Lil Butcher.
Lil Butcher. She's going to put you on the butcher block.
Yeah.
Okay. Welcome to Cheaties. Welcome back to Cheaties. If you've been here before, like Catherine said, you've done it. You've done it again. We don't know why, but you've done it. If you just checking your tongue out on the
I know, I just had
screen?
green tea, and I saw how yellowish it is. Maybe it's COVID.
If you are new to Cheaties, this is a catch-up episode. We do an interview episode early in the week every week, and then we do a catch-up episode later in the week, and we recap the last episode, we chit-chat, we catch up, we share cheating stories, we do all sorts of things, Catherine. And how long have we been doing this?
For 170 episodes.
That's right.
And it's
170 too long.
Yes, exactly. We did 4 in the very beginning that we just lost. So
God, I keep forgetting about that.
Yeah. And something special is happening today, right now. Hopefully, we'll see. We said we were going to do this a long time ago and promised it and pitched it and never did it.
Yep.
You remember like having a father. But hopefully this episode is on YouTube at this point when this comes out.
When this comes out, this episode should be on YouTube. We are recording, we think, but like you said, there's been a lot of times we thought we were recording or we thought we'd do a thing. How's that Patreon coming along?
I set it up. It's ready to go. The images are there. The links are there.
Everything's there. Everything's there. Except the content. So who knows? But we will be putting this whole episode on YouTube. We have decided that going forward, we're going to put our catch-up episodes of the full visual on YouTube. We're not going to put the interview episodes because a lot of people do go by fake names on this podcast. They want to remain anonymous. We're not gonna do that to them. We're not gonna put people, unless maybe they really want to. If they're like, fuck it, you know what? I'm gonna air everything and they can see my face and they can find me if they want. Maybe if that's the case, we'll do that. But you know what? We're just gonna see first if this is possible. So.
Yeah. Give us a break.
Stop being so hard on this.
Yeah. Let's take one step at a time. Okay. We had our first sponsor in 2 years last week.
That's true.
We don't know if they're coming back.
We have no idea. We haven't heard anything from them.
Yeah. So, okay, now it's time to take 3 steps back.
Yeah. We'll see. Two steps forward, 3 steps back.
3 steps back.
Catherine, let's first, before we get into anything else, let's recap this last episode. We had August on the podcast, August Nicolaus, and the episode was called Run, August, Run, because we realized through his story that he was a little Forrest Gumpy.
You know those kind of people, and they're so nice. So
nice.
Pure heart.
Pure.
Heart of gold.
Pure.
Almost too golden. And
yes.
And and you talk to them and you're like, and in the conversation, you have so many thoughts in your head that you're like, don't say that out loud.
Don't say that.
They're too
don't
nice
tell
for
people.
that.
Yeah. Are you trying to say that was August?
That's August.
That's August.
I felt the whole episode. I couldn't help it. I was laughing at him.
And when most people would hold those feelings back and go, don't say this out loud, we did it. We said it. We said all the things to him in the episode. And he still smiled, and he was still so sweet. And he didn't regret out loud that he came on the podcast. So that was nice.
So I'll recap the episode real quick. Okay, right?
Okay.
So he started saying this girl, he knew her in school. They went through college never talking, and then they rekindled after college. And then, and he was like, this is my girlfriend. And what she would do is be like, oh, I actually have I'm dating everybody in the world. And so every day she would call him, and then afterwards she would just go boink everyone else.
Everyone else. She did it overseas. She did it across the country.
Yeah.
She did it right in front of his face in the home.
Yeah. It was like, have you ever seen like a presidential composite picture?
Of all the presidents?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
It was like that. Like she had just different people she was cheating. That was like every year she had made a new composite like that. Of all the people that she cheated on him with. And wide range. People in Spain, NFL players, a girl, comedians, a girl that she told him that she thought she was pretty, and so he was like, "Hey, my girlfriend thinks she's pretty," and so I think he thought he said that, but I think what he really said was, "Hey, you're more than welcome to just go
hook up." To go hook up with my girlfriend. Yeah. He was legitimately the wingman for his girlfriend in that situation.
And like Forrest Gump,
Sweet August.
He just came back. He just was like, "Come on back, Jenna."
Yeah. I don't care where you go, what you do, who you do, what you've done to me. Oh, she brought him back an STD.
Yeah.
One time.
Well, she wanted to bring him a souvenir.
As a gift. Yeah, she had to bring him a souvenir from her travels.
Yeah. That was the whole episode. It's hilarious to me. You. Maybe not August, but
maybe not August. Hey, but he's in a good place now. So he's with it. He's got a super cool, super hot, very funny girlfriend right now, and I've met her, and so I'm excited for him. Can we do this? Let's try this and then see if it works well. I'm gonna keep it in the episode. But a mutual friend of all of ours, comedian Brandon Duncan, who hasn't been on the podcast yet. We're going to try to get him on. Hopefully he's got a story because he's so funny. So he sent August this voice recording of him imitating August as August.
Did he
Gump.
send it to August?
Yes. And he sent it to me, and then I sent it to you. Okay. So for our listeners, we're going to play this amazing clip now. Let me make sure my volume is up.
Hey, y'all. My name's August Gump. My girlfriend, one day in particular, went out to Scotland, and for no reason at all, started humping. And from that day on, she was humping. She could tell you anything there is to know about dick. Scottish dick, Charles' dick, hell, even some local dick, too. I talked to Mama. Mama always said, slutty is as slutty does for us. You can't help it. Life is like the key bowl at an orgy. You never know who's going to stick it in your girlfriend. Anyways, it's good to talk to you. My name's August Gump.
Oh, it's start playing.
Oh, sorry, this is your ringtone now?
That's going to be my ringtone.
Life is like a key bowl at an orgy.
You never know.
Wait, does that mean, is it a key bowl and you go in there and you pick a key and then
like, that's who you go home with?
Because then you go to their home. But an orgy, I thought everybody does it together. That's swingers.
Yeah, but I think key bowls were a thing in the 70s with swingers. They would, they put their keys all in a bowl, and they would just grab and be like, "Whose key is this?" And then they go home with that person. Yeah, or maybe that's how they'd figure out who they were hooking up with at the party. I don't know. I wasn't so there, Catherine.
What if there's one person you just don't want to hook up with, and you're like, "That's my key," and you accidentally dropped it back in the bowl. And then
you
I can't find it. And I got it.
Yeah, you kicked it into the vent on the floor. Pushed it under the rug. You're like, I'm not. No. You're like, this one has Tweety Bird on the key. I'm not.
Yeah, it's got a Tweety Bird.
It's got a Tweety Bird little face on
No, I'm not doing a rabbit foot keychain.
Nope. Don't know
dirty.
Yeah, I bet the rest of that rabbit body's at the house. I'm not going.
Yeah.
But how funny is that? And all I can picture is Brandon writing all of that down as a script and then memorizing it, or not reading it to August to send that to him, just to humiliate him even more, as if we didn't already in episode 169. So, oh boy, that was fun. That was a good recap.
Okay, can we just say one of my favorite parts is like, this is like saga 17 of she cheating on him and being like, well, and then she said she wanted to
get back with me,
to get back together, and we were like, good God. And then and then I started commenting, and I was really excited. I was new to it, and then I found out she was dating this headliner. And you're like, dude, she's mean. She's mean.
She trolled the shit out of him for 10 years.
Yeah, it's like some guy getting real excited about coaching like church basketball, and she's like, well, now I'm dating an NBA player.
Yeah. Oh, she's mean. Poor August. But he's good. He's in a good place now. So, if we were going to do we have an obituary? Do you have?
I've got mine. I think I've already said it. Mine's an bitch be wary. Of telling another girl that your girlfriend thinks she's pretty. Hey baby, it's 2021.
Yeah.
We're not just giving girls compliments anymore.
Nope.
We're sliding in. Okay.
Yeah.
Nobody's straight anymore.
Nobody.
So
Everybody's realized.
Yeah, everybody's your enemy over here, August.
That's right.
Females and males.
Females and males.
So don't be a wingman for your girlfriend just because you think she's a girl and nothing's gonna happen.
Nope.
It's 2021 and the world's ending. Nope. So we're not holding back anymore, baby.
Yeah, anything goes, babe. Anything goes.
Yeah.
So
that's an bitch be wary.
Be wary. Yeah. If your partner thinks somebody's cute, probably not a good idea to double down on it. Tell them and set them up. Probably not set them up. That would probably be a good idea.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Okay, so if I had to do an obituary, I'm putting the bitch in obituary, putting this to bed, putting this in the ground, is believing them when they have already cheated on you and wronged you, okay?
Right.
Fool me once, shame on me. Or fool me once. What is it? I'm going to do it wrong. Fool me once, shame on them. Shame on them. Fool me twice, shame on me. Now it's my fault at this point. Anything that happens after that point, I should be blamed for this because I knew it was coming. Okay? One time, you can have a slip up. You can have a mistake, right? The thing happened with the Scottish dude. I get that. That was one of the first times. And I say one of because I'm just assuming there was more. Had to be.
Yeah. When you come back with Scottish claw marks.
Oh, come on. You got Scott. He's like, oh, my claw marks are still healing.
Yeah.
From weeks later. What did she do to this dude?
Yeah.
Okay.
Your bagpipes left an impression on my back. I must have slept on your bagpipes wrong.
I enjoyed all the blowing you did on my bagpipes. I enjoyed laying that haggis
blew
down.
up my kilt.
Yeah.
I wish we had like a Scottish bagpipe.
Sound to put in right there.
Yeah.
If we were good at it, let's push a button. Oh no, nothing came out. So after the first time, maybe be like, okay, well, this is her first trip like overseas. She's on a school thing. Yeah, it's Scotland. They got accents. They got killed. She's never going to see him again. Okay, fine. Maybe take her back after that. I get that. But the second, the third, the 400th, really? Come on. Stop it. Put that back to bed. It's not, nothing's going to change. That's the definition of insanity. We've said this before on the podcast. Yes. Nothing's going to change. Be done with it. Move on. She's not the one. She's not the one. Get rid of the story. Bury that story in your heart. There's another person and they're going to be the protagonist in that story. And it's not, it's definitely not this chick. It's not Janae.
Right. So moral story is fool me once, shame on them. Fool me twice, see you on Cheaties.
That's right. That's our new tagline. That's a good one. That's a good one.
See you soon.
Yes, dude. Ugh. Okay, do you have a cheating story to bring to the table?
I do. Very quickly. This is just clearing the air.
Okay.
I think it was a cheating scandal, but it's been reversed. It's been redacted.
Oh.
Ben Affleck just went on Howard Stern, and they did a 2-hour interview, and he talks a lot about his marriage and his divorce with Jennifer Gardner. And there was a lot of scandal around that because he went to rehab, and like that was around the time when he was just looking real shabby. All the paparazzi pictures of him just looking blubby and him a mess. And then the back tat came out.
Oh, that's right. The Phoenix. Oh my God.
So he went on just to say that he respects her. It was a marriage that needed to end. They weren't good being married, but he still respects her. They have 3 kids together. His whole mission in life is to better his kids' lives, blah, blah, blah. But he never cheated on her with the nanny. That was the big scandal that everyone said had happened. And again, I've already said this on the podcast once, but as a nanny, we're not interested.
You don't want,
and you don't want scrubby dads.
That tired dad dick.
No nanny wants that. We're already sick of your kids. We don't want somebody that has to obligatorily be around them more than we even have to. We're not interested in you.
Okay.
And that's it. That's all I have to say. And now he's back with J-Lo.
Yeah, now he's back with J-Lo. So wait, you said it's been reversed. What do you mean?
Redacted. He just put it to bed that the cheating.
Nothing happened with the nanny.
Scandal. Nothing happened with the nanny.
Oh, got it. Okay, I thought you were going to say he said nothing happened with the nanny back then, but then it actually came out that something did happen with the nanny. But
look,
no,
when you have to have a cheating story from the news every week, sometimes they're not big stories, Lace.
Okay, that's okay. So I've got one too that I don't really truly have answers to. I just kind of have answers to. So
this is a prediction.
This is more of a prediction than anything. So there was some accusation back in 2020 that Dave Chappelle had cheated on his longtime wife. He and Elaine, his wife, had gotten married or been together since like the 90s. They've got kids together. He mentions her sometimes. They're not super public. He's not really that public and about it, and he usually keeps his private business private. Well, there had been accusations that he had cheated on his wife with rapper Azealia Banks. So if anyone knows about this, apparently she had gone on Instagram Live in May 2020, threatening to spill tea on men in the industry, especially those who fail to defend her when she's, quote, getting attacked in the media, end quote. And now this is going to be a whole lot of bleeps, so I'm about to do a whole bunch of Fs and effings, okay? But it's the full words, just know that.
Got it.
And, quote, like Dave Chappelle, she said in the video, quote, I should ruin your effing marriage. I should ruin your effing marriage. I should tell the effing world that we effed. Because y'all N-words don't look out for me, so what the F? I'm keeping secrets for y'all N-words for. Oh, so why am I keeping secrets for y'all? Okay. She decided to air him out, end quote. She decided to air him out. Banks went on to detail their alleged encounter. This is going to be full of some expletives as well. And everyone knows this is not a super clean podcast. I don't mind dropping an F-bomb, but this is a lot of them in a row. Okay. So you got some good dick. N-word. No, Dave Chappelle can F me again, she continued. That was some good black dick. That was some good, strong.
Dang. I was hoping
it just
Chappelle
keeps
wouldn't
on
have.
going.
Wouldn't have. Because
nope,
I'm like, there's got to be something. There's got to be something wrong with you.
She goes on to a paraphrase that it is legendary penis, and that she wants to get it again.
Dave Chappelle?
She'll snatch that legend right out of him, is what she says, essentially. So she's like, I'll take it again. I'll do it again. As if the legendariness is going to rub off on her. I don't know. I think it's hilarious. So that's what she went off online on Instagram Live saying in 2020. Okay. He never said anything public about all of that. He never addressed it or anything. However, He said one thing. He said her name in a special. So that the special that came out that was called 846. Remember? It came out earlier this year, or late 20. It was about George Floyd. And in that special, he mentioned the name Azalea Banks.
What did he say?
And he said it was when he was talking about Candace Owens. And then he said something, let's see, let me scroll through this. I'm literally going through an article, blah, blah, blah. And he says he was accusing Candace Owens of being stanky. Mm-hmm. And then he said, I don't know if it stinks. I imagine it does. If I ever find out, I'll let you know for sure. I'll tell like Azalea Banks. I'll tell.
Oh, so he was admitting.
That's what it sounds like to me. That sounds like an admission, right? He said, I'll tell like she did.
Yeah. Yeah.
So then there's more, and this is more of a prediction. So this is the stuff from 2020. Well, he is currently on tour with a documentary that he filmed, and he is going to these towns, and he just did this in Atlanta a couple weeks ago at the State Farm Arena, and he shows this documentary, and then he does commentary or stand-up or whatever. I wasn't there, so I didn't see it exactly, but I have heard this from some people who went there, and he does address that he cheats on his wife, and he talks about it in the context. And you know how he does at his shows, like you can't have your phones. They take your phones away. They lock your phones up. And so you can't have your phones. So nobody has like actual evidence that he says this or word for word what he said. So this is more of a prediction that as soon as someone's able to sneakily get the quotes, or once this is out, right? Once this, if he films this with him saying these particular things is out, then we'll have hard evidence that it happened. But apparently he admits to cheating on his wife. I don't know if he says with who or whatever, but he talks about it in the context of, it's interesting that he cheats, but he's more jealous. Like he's the jealous one in the relationship.
Yeah. God, it's just like, I mean, again, you never know. It could be one of those relationships where she's just like,
sure.
What I want out of life is, you know, these kids,
family,
and and you know what? If you're on the road, and it could be an open relationship,
it could be, totally could be. And either way, she's sitting on a pile of money that she's not worried. She's sleeping fine at night. She's sleeping on hundreds. She is just fine. So maybe it doesn't bother her. Maybe they've reached a point in their 20-something year relationship where, like you said, if he's on the road, if it happens, she doesn't want to hear about it or whatever. Yeah, I don't know.
I do know.
Or maybe it's more deceitful and sinister and it sucks. And,
but he's talking about, all I know, I remember, so a couple things. I mean, I think this is just kind of things you just assume is going to happen. There was a show you and I did in Alabama years ago. Mm-hmm. I remember there was this woman on the show. I don't remember. I don't think I ever saw her again. But I remember she was telling me, like, she met Chappelle one time way back when, and she approached their tour bus at the time. There was somebody else on it, and she was like, I'm going to be a comedian. Do you remember this?
I 100% remember.
And she was like, my friends and I went on there, and I remember she said they were like, well, show us your titties then, or something like, show us your tits. And she was like, and then after that, I told him I could give a good head massage.
Uh-huh.
And then I remember being like, so what happened? And she kind of just went like, and then she kind of just skirted around the rest of it. She didn't say nothing happened, but she just did one of those like, well, you know, I met him.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
You know, and you're like, okay. But you just assume already, just know that stuff happens. But that he talks about it publicly, because I remember one of these like 4 Netflix specials, not the latest one. I don't think I think it was one of the first 2. Mm-hmm. He is talking about Prince.
Yes.
He gets on one of the Netflix specials.
Yes.
And he talks about when he found out he passed. He goes, my family's living in Ohio. I was in New York. And I got a call from my wife. And this is such a classic Chappelle joke. Mm-hmm. And she's crying. And she goes, I forget the exact verbiage, but it was something like, she was like, I know what happened. I know what happened. I just heard what happened. I just heard what happened. And he goes, and I'm messing it up, but he goes, what'd you hear? And he says, it's something, I mess up the verbiage, but it's something where he's alluding to the fact that he is assuming that she found out
about him cheating.
Cheating. And she's like, Prince died. And he was like, oh, thank God. Or something like that.
Right.
And that's just a joke he has. It's on one of this latest Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, I think he does, but that was more just like a joke thing that you would just pass off. But to be like openly talking about cheating on your wife, in the current time.
Mm-hmm. I know, like modern day, like happening now. So very interesting. I am very curious to know more about that.
It's going to be everywhere.
Yeah.
Eventually.
Oh, for sure. And I'm always, and I think all of us are always fascinated. Like, I mean, clearly we're fascinated with like, regular people's stories. I mean, we have this podcast for that reason, so we can all, because most people have been through it, and we like to hear, how they made it through and how they're doing now and what they would have done differently and all that. But I think most people are fascinated by celebrity cheating stories for the reason of like, once it's found out, like once why do you stick around? And like, what's the arrangement? I think everyone's fascinated with the arrangement, because at this point you got to imagine there's so much money on the line. There's so much, and it's like, do you give up that kind of lifestyle just because you're pissed? Or do you sign up for that and realize that it's probably going to happen? Like,
because it's just, I think at that point you are in a different reality than the
you're
rest
in a totally
of the
different
world.
reality. That's right.
Not
and I think that's why we're all so fascinated by it.
Yeah. I remember, I think it's like if you're on the road and you're a megastar, I don't know if you just are like, well, we don't live in a normal world, so we've got to come up with different terms than maybe your average.
Sure. Different rules. Yeah.
Columbus, Ohio suburban family.
Right.
Of 3 kids has.
Yep.
I remember, because I used to work at the arena. I used to do venue management all the time.
That's right. Yeah.
I won't say who it is. Okay. But I would do, this isn't back in college when I would work at the basketball arena in South Carolina. And we had, and my managers and like my security guys would always have these stories. But there was one in particular, this famous, I guess you'd say he's an R&B artist.
Okay. Uh-huh.
You know what? Honestly, he's pretty famous for a couple songs about confessing. He's there, and not only like there's some writers, blah 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 blah, but he literally would have like because they had to have security backstage, and because you always have credentials, and your credentials can say how much access you have everywhere. I used to work security at Amway. The Orlando Magic's arena too. So you have people in positions everywhere. Everyone's checking credentials backstage, especially. So he had to let our security know, and they set it over the overhead, like, hey, I have these guys that are going to be out, and they are literally out scouting the audience and picking out women. Yeah. And this is what would happen. And our head security guy told us one time. Then they would bring them back there, and then after the show, he would sit in his room. And they would bring him back there, and he would pick who he wanted. This one girl in particular, she was not picked, and she was pissed. And she threw a huge stink and like had to be carried out by 3 different men because she was kicking and screaming and whatnot else. But I'm pretty sure he was dating somebody or married at this time with this too. So it's just like, it's almost just like, I don't know.
It's built into the culture. It's built in.
Yeah, that like you're just maybe
when you're at a certain level, like you said, it's different. It's different rules, different terms, different everything. But it's always fascinating, and I will never not be fascinated by how all that plays out and how all of it works. Because I think what we want is like a Tiger Woods and Ilian. What was her name? Not Ilian.
Elaine. I don't know.
Or so, it doesn't matter. You know who I'm talking about, though. But
Elon.
Sure. Who beat the shit out of his car with his golf clubs and stuff. Like, and then leaves him. And that's what we want. That's what I want. But most of the time, I think everybody's just like, well, I assumed that was going to happen, and that's kind of what we signed up for, and screw it. Just buy me a big old pink ring, and I'll be fine.
Yeah, I guess so. But do both parties get to do it?
Exactly. And that's what I'm always hoping. I'm like, man, if the famous one in the relationship is getting to dip it in where they want, do you get to do the same when they're on tour?
Yeah.
Do you have, you got a hot pool boy? Like, what do you get to have? Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you get a whole staff of just hot dudes, like, or hot chicks or both. Like, what do you get? What do you get?
I would hope so. I mean, for sure. Right.
Yeah, I mean, that if I was that famous or my partner was that famous, I'd be like, if it happened once, I'd be like, cool, all right, well, the rules have changed.
Yes.
And this has gone from a relationship to an arrangement.
Exactly.
Yeah. But I am curious about these details, and like you said, that's going to be everywhere for sure with Chappelle. So,
dude, he is a genius. I feel like he has recently just become a genius at sparking controversy.
Oh,
but he's
100%.
like, I've done this. I've done the trans chapter.
Yep. Got attacked for. Yep. He just dipped his toe into everything that he can to try to see what's going to happen. Okay, so Katherine, outside of podcast topics, we have some real life stuff to catch up on. You practiced and worked for so long to get prepared for a 30-minute recording that you got to do 2 shows in a row on Sunday at the Laughing Skull. And I was there for one show. Holy shit, you killed it.
Thank you.
I'm so proud of my little sweet baby.
Thank you.
I'm so proud of you. So proud.
Thank you. I did it. It felt good. I learned a lot.
Yes.
I'll just say what I mean, we talked about this before. Dude, there's something about like just taking, just like be like, okay, I'm gonna do a project of my own. I'm tired of like waiting for some industry to ask me to do something.
No one's coming to get us.
No
one's coming to find us or discover us or make us into something. Like, I've been doing comedy for 10 years. Ain't nobody banging down the doors.
Yeah.
Yeah,
sure.
You gotta make shit happen.
Made it worth everything. And I'm like, that was so fun. I can't wait. I'm just bang out 30-minute albums here and there and there and there.
Love it.
And
now I'm going to. I was already going to do that anyway, and I've already been planning on it, but like sitting there watching you just fucking kill it, I was like, dude, first of all, I was mad that I haven't done it yet. And I'm like, why was I waiting around for so long thinking that like we just said, like, that it would just happen or someone's going to offer it to me. There's a million comedians now. And now with TikTok and everything else, there's billions of content creators. It doesn't mean as much to be like a professional stand-up comedian that's like worked the road and gotten TV credits and played the game the right way for so long. Like, none of those things matter anymore. So we have to make shit happen for ourselves. And like, I got super motivated by watching you. And I'm like, why have I not been putting this stuff out there? So I'm about to do the same damn thing.
It was so fun. And to like, I also just realized how, like, I don't know how to word this, but I was asked to join somebody else's thing, kind of, and we've already talked, like, some things didn't go great. I'm gonna be honest.
Sure.
The opener of the show, if you were there, wasn't great. Wasn't my choice. And I don't care about saying it at this point.
You shouldn't care. You shouldn't feel bad. You also didn't book them, and you didn't know what the material they were going to be doing and all that.
Yeah.
And that's what made me watching your recording even better, is because you had to follow somebody, which we've talked about comedy on this podcast a million times. It's a, cheating, relationships, comedy podcast. And we've talked about, so for the listeners who don't do stand up, if someone before you either digs a hole, that the next person has to get out of it. And if they suck all the energy out of the room, the next person has to deal with it. It doesn't even affect, it doesn't just affect the first person, or if they're offensive or they are ill prepared, which the person before you was all of those things.
Wildly offensive.
Wildly
ill prepared.
Wildly ill prepared.
Yes.
And you had to follow that. And your professionalism and your experience in stand up prepared you to come back in and reset the room immediately, and so you had like obstacles to go up against by the time you hit the stage. And I thought that made it even more impressive.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
But, I was gonna say, all to that is I'm so grateful for the experience. I regret nothing, even because I was like, there was a lot of things that just I was not going exactly how I would want them. And at this point in time, I was like, well, it's not my thing. I'll just let it happen how it happened. But like, now I'm realizing, like, don't just let other people who like, there's other people in the business that'll be like, oh, this is how you should do this. This is how we're going to do this. This is how we're going to do this. And the more you know, like, you can like stand up and be like, nope, that's not the right way. This is my project. This is how I'm doing it. And this is how we're going to do it. Yep. And like, I can't wait to go make more stuff and be able to be like, take more ownership in the
and more creative control and all that.
Yeah. I mean, but it was a really cool learning experience to like learn. I don't know. I'm just so happy that I've realized that you can do this stuff on your own, and like you don't have to like take direction from other people who pretend like they know what they're doing and stuff. And like, it was really cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I was so excited.
Proud of you. I'm excited.
We're going to film a little sketch to play in the beginning of it. Maybe I'll just put it up on YouTube too. I don't know. Cool. Just let people see it. But
maybe you should.
Yeah.
I mean, we're going to put this episode on YouTube, hopefully, if all goes well. Just put it all out there. Who gives a shit at this point, you know? So good for you. I'm proud.
Thank you. Thank you for coming.
Yeah,
I heard you laughing the whole time. I'm sure your laugh is going to be in the recording.
Yeah, I apologize.
No, I loved it. I genuinely, I was like,
I can do about that.
I was like, I need it. I loved hearing it.
Okay, good.
Yeah,
good.
It was awesome.
Yeah.
It was good. Also, having 2 shows helps so much in the recording, because I was just so mechanical on the first one.
Oh, yeah.
You just need to get the mechanics and the nerves out in the first one, and then you're ready to just be loosey-goosey in the second one.
Yeah. Hey, and I didn't even fake most of those laughs.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
A lot of them were
I could tell. I could tell the ones that were fake. And I was like,
time would go by and be like, oh man, it's been like 45 seconds since I've laughed. I should probably.
I was like, listen. This is my Kris Jenner.
Choke one out. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But I'm excited. I like all that. And I had a really motivating weekend leading up to going to your recording, because I drove down to Florida to do a corporate gig. I got hired for a corporate gig a while back. I mean, like 6 months ago. It was wild. It was one of those, like, out of the blue. I didn't find it for myself. Somebody messaged me, and which a lot of great corporate gigs come that way. They're looking for a comedian for whatever reasons, and they find you. And they had booked me, and when they booked me, they asked me for a number. You know, they asked me what I charge, and I gave them a number, thinking that they wouldn't say yes, because it was a trucking company. And they said yes, and they wanted to have me, and I was like, hell yeah, let's do this. So
corporate gigs is the money, honey.
Right, but I also just like it's good to stretch that muscle of, like, you know, dive bars to comedy clubs to corporate gigs to whatever. Like it's always very interesting. It's more learning experiences, right? But anyway, so you know, you don't know how it's going to go and all that. Also, it was like a 5.5 hour drive once again. Like the 5th, 6th, 5.5 hour away gig I've done in the past few months. And anyway, I got Damon Sumner, good buddy Damon, who's going to be, he and his wife have a podcast together called Summing Up with the Sumners. And they are going to be guests on our podcast before the end of the year. So anyway, we both love Damon. We've worked with him 1,000 times. I took him with me to do a little opening spot, and we've never worked the road together. And so we were in the car all day long. The first day we did the gig. Gig went great. They put us in a gorgeous hotel. We both, when we got to our hotel rooms, oh my God, it was amazing. We got our hotel, we checked in. The hotel's brand new. It smelled brand new. It was freaking beautiful. It was walking distance from the venue. We get there. We got 2 rooms. We were just like, hey, see you in 3 hours. High five.
Yeah.
It was so nice and relaxing. Like I said, the gig was great. The next morning was great. And then we drove all the way back home. And here's the thing. I say all this to say, that's a lot of time in the car with somebody. Damon is one of the most positive, encouraging, optimistic, motivational human beings you've ever been around your whole life. Like, I literally felt like...
He didn't putter out once?
Not once. Wow. Not once.
I don't get it.
12 hours solid of pure, intense motivation. And like I told you, I was like, man, I just spent the first day. I was like, I just spent 5.5 hours being motivated by Damon Sumner. I'm ready to fucking go. let's go. And you're like, yeah, you just got Tony Robbins. I was like, I damn sure did. Damn sure did.
Dude, Liz just texted me this idea. She's like, here's what do podcast.
And that's why I literally was like, we're starting to put these episodes on YouTube. Why are our faces not on YouTube? This is ridiculous. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah. And then the only time he took a break from actually like giving great ideas and all this was when he was like, okay, the next day he's like, now I talked a lot. These are the podcasts you need to be listening to build your podcast, to build your this, to build your that, to blah, 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 blah. Here's the episodes. He would go through the phone and pick the episodes, and we would listen to the episodes, and then we would discuss the episodes. And, man, that whole drive, I went home, took a very brief nap. Actually, I don't think I got a nap in. I wanted to take a nap. I think I walked the dog and then got ready, went to your show, and I was just like, whoa!
Let's go. Yeah.
Let's go! Like, I was so jazzed, and I still am. Gotta say, it's Wednesday. We're recording this. Still jazzed, off the weekend, got goals, got plans, listened to one of those podcasts while I was getting ready to record this podcast with you. And that podcast was about growing your podcast. It's called Grow the Show. And now I feel insane. And I feel good in a good way, Katherine.
Yeah,
just real,
I like it.
Real motivated on all fronts.
This is why I listen to commencement speeches when I work out. I can do 12 push-ups if Obama's not at Dartmouth telling me how we only get stronger by our failures. You think I can do 12 push-ups?
Commencement speeches while I'm working
without Octavia Spencer at Berkeley.
Or my favorite one is Jim Carrey's commencement speech.
Oh, yeah, we talked about his dad.
That's the best one. Yes.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yes. Jim Carrey's in there. Jim Carrey's in there. Jim Carrey's when I'm doing dips. Jim Carrey's for dips.
He's for dips.
Yeah.
He's for dips.
He's for dips.
That's freaking funny.
Yeah.
Oh, God. That's so great. That's so funny. But, dude, like, I'm like, and okay, so I have to admit that I'm a little pissed at myself because I've already broken one rule. And so if any of our listeners follow us individually on Instagram, please go do that if you do. I mean, if you don't, please be following us and follow Cheaties podcast. That would be really nice.
My Instagram's different than the handle, than the
outro.
Than the outro, because
that's
we need
true.
to update that.
Yeah, we need to update that.
Now it's Katherine Blanford. Actually, makes
it's Katherine Blanford. Yeah, and not KBiz9 anymore. But anyway, point being, I put up a reel because I have a 21-day commitment to reels that I made with Damon, and I put one up. If you've watched it and you're like, what the hell is she doing? Why? I don't care. Okay, I'm done. I'm done with judgment. I'm gonna post and close. I don't give a shit anymore. If people judge me, if people are like, oh, it looks like she's like making goofy reel, I truly don't care. I'm done. I'm putting stuff out there. I'm playing the game. I'm gonna do the things. If they suck, they suck. But I'm gonna learn. You know, I learned the hard way with everything else I've ever done. And, you know, it's not going to be my best work, and that's okay. I'm tired of holding myself back from worried about being perfect about things. And so, yes, I didn't put out a reel on Tuesday, so I'm going to put like 2 out today, I think.
Wow, huge.
So I'm going to, big deal, right?
Huge. Yeah. Big moves.
So just gonna make moves, and then we're gonna build up our TikTok on our Cheaties and our personal pages and our reels for everything, and we're just gonna saturate. Everybody's just gonna be sick of us, Katherine. I think that's what the goal should be.
Baby.
18 months into this podcast, 10 years into comedy. You know what? Screw it. Let's just do it. Screw it and do it. You know.
Screw it and do it, baby.
Do it and screw it.
Yeah, but that would be a bad tagline for Cheaties.
Yeah, no.
Well, we do need content.
Hey, we do need content, so maybe y'all should
screw it and do it.
So screw it and do it. Screw some
screw
them, and then do the podcast.
Then do it. Then do the podcast. Yeah, screw them, do it.
Do it. Screw up your relationship, and then do the podcast.
Do the podcast.
Yeah, I like that. These are good plans. Yeah. Okay. Anything else, Katherine? Nothing
much. Thank you for coming. I did actually talk to some people who listen to the podcast who came to the recording. So thank you.
Yes.
If you came.
Yes. Oh, big shout out to Jarrett Hayes, one of our biggest fans. Physically, one of our biggest fans. He's like 6'8". So he's a very tall fan.
He's the official Cheaties bodyguard.
He is official Cheaties bodyguard. He came. He loved it. He had an absolute blast. It was so great to see him again. It had been so long since I saw his face. So that was great. So shout out. Hey, Jarrett, we love you. That was great. Thanks for coming to support. But I say that like I had anything to do with your recording. Thank you so much to everyone who came out to see Katherine.
Thank you for coming out to listen to Lace laugh.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Keep listening to Cheaties. Leave us a review. We did get a new review, Katherine.
We did.
We did. We got a new review. Do you want to read it? You want me to read it?
I want you to read it.
All right, I'm going to read it. We got a new one the other day. And y'all, anytime you leave us a review, we will read it on the podcast. So please keep leaving us reviews. All right, this one came in the other day, and the title is My Two Favorite Funny Women, 5 stars. Lace and Katherine are the best. This is one of the most entertaining podcasts to listen to with crazy cheating stories. It says stores, but I think she meant stories.
No, stores.
It's stores, yeah. A lot of stores
to shop at.
Yeah, Cheaters Are Us, a lot of stores. And it says, you never know what to expect. And damn it, if this poster is not wrong. So, shout out to Saw Dog 67. You really missed out, Saw Dog, with not making it 69. Gonna be honest, Saw Dog 69 would have been a better 67. 2 off. Come on. 2 more numbers and you could have been Saw Dog 69.
You think 67?
67. What are you doing? What are you doing?
I hope that's your number. You played rugby in college. And that was your rugby number. And that was your rugby number. If that's not it, and you just picked 67 and didn't pick 69.
Come on. You're so close. So close to 69.
Yeah.
2 positions away from 69.
Right, exactly. That's it.
Okay, so shout out to you, Saw Dog. When we get some more Cheaty stickers ordered, we will start sending stickers out again. That's on my list of things to do since I'm so motivated. I'll get some more stickers ordered this week. We'll send a sticker out to anybody who leaves a review and then screenshots it and DMs us. So make sure you're following us at Cheaties Podcast. All right, I think that's it, right?
We love you. Toodles. Bye.